Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hi.
How's it
I'm
going?
Olivia.
Uh-huh. And I'm Amy.
And this
And this
is
is
Girls
Girls
Gone
Gone Spooky.
Spooky. Excellent.
Welcome.
Well, we're back from hiatus and we're coming at you real hot with a part two.
I would have done better on that intro if I remembered that this was our first time back.
Okay, because for all you listeners out there, we have not taken a break yet.
Right.
So
Yes.
we're
This
a
was just a
little
normal day.
stale.
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't show you. I got copper
What?
cups, as discussed.
Oh, yeah. Did we talk about that
Isn't it cute?
on the pod? It is
No,
cute.
but we were reading about the health benefits of drinking water out of copper cups, and I was like,
Yes.
well, gotta get them. Noah was
Might
like,
as well.
oh, great, more drinkware? Wonderful.
It doesn't affect the taste.
It has like a
It's
slightly
just
metallic taste, but I actually really like it. I'm drinking like uber filtered water out of it, so the water has like no flavor otherwise, and so it feels really
yeah,
like cold and like crispy. It's like really
crisp.
crispy water. I
Yes.
like it.
Well,
It's
that
good.
sounds nice.
Hmm
I love it.
I
And
think at that store where we saw the inspo cups, it
yes.
said something about like drinking it with fresh lemon juice or something, which I'm not doing, but
Hmm.
whatever. I'm part of the way
Even
there.
still, yeah. And even if it's like made up somehow health benefits, it's not hurting anyone.
No, and like also
So,
placebo effect for sure.
right.
Yeah.
True.
Can
Ugh,
you hear Binks
okay.
meowing like
Now
a
I can.
psycho?
Mhm.
Binks, he literally is meowing with his toy stuffed so far into his mouth.
Oh,
Binks. And now he's yeeting it. He's picking it up and tossing his
throw
head to throw it.
it.
You're crazy,
Oh,
boy.
Bing.
Come here. Oh, he's not gonna
Doesn't
come
he
here.
know that we're busy?
He's we're live right now, Binks. Gosh.
Don't embarrass
Um
us.
don't embarrass us in front of our friends. Um okay, so we were talking about books before we joined and I decided to save one, which of course I now forget the name of. So give
Yep.
me a minute.
Hang on a second.
Okay, but I'm obsessed with my Kindle, can I just say?
Yeah,
Very,
I
very good.
love mine as well.
Very good. Okay, and I
Yes.
have a book from Libby that doesn't have the Kindle version. So I had to like use
Yeah,
my iPad and I'm like, this is
it's not the same.
inferior in every way.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, it's called Rules for Vanishing. And it
I have
is
heard of that book.
so good. It
Yes.
honestly, did you watch Agatha All Along?
No, I did
Okay,
not.
so it's a Marvel, it's on Disney, but it's a technically a Marvel like comic, but it's not got that vibe really. It's similar to it's like in the same universe as WandaVision. And anyway, it's got the woman from Anchorman who does the power
Yeah. Yeah, I can picture
and
her
who says
exactly.
everything. She's so funny. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't remember her name
Agatha
though.
all along. Catherine Hahn. And
Of
she
course.
is excellent. But without giving too much away, the whole story centers around the like witches road and witches like summon the road and then walk the road. And at the end, you go through like all these trials along the way. Um, and at the end you like get get something that you want.
Yep.
Um, and there are like a ton of like plot twists and turns to it, but this is really similar. It's like this it's about like a local legend of like a little girl who like went on to this like trail that like you conjure and then she basically like got lost there. And so
Interesting.
there's all this complicated stuff about like someone's sister disappeared and so the other sister is like I'm gonna find her, it has something to do with this like road, and there are like trials along the way, and it is so good. And I think there actually already is a sequel to it as well. So Rules
Oh,
for Vanishing,
okay.
Kate Alice Marshall, I'm like so hooked into her whole vibe. I just really like
Okay.
the way she writes, and it's very
Yeah.
like like you were saying about No One Can Know, which is the one I'm reading now, which Amy's already read, it's like no holds barred the way she writes. Like it's like
Yes.
gruesome sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I love it. I love it.
Yeah. I love it. I love
I
it.
love it.
Okay. I've definitely
Um,
heard of Rules for Vanishing, so I'll put it on my
I will say it's
Goodreads.
scary.
Okay.
And it's like a little bit like I don't know if you've ever read any like Blair Witch style books that are like recovered
Oh.
tapes and stuff like that. It's that. Like it's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of that. So it's like
Okay.
journal entries and then interview like live interview stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
text transcripts and then yeah, like the written transcript of like video taken off of people's phones. It's
Got it.
really good. It's
Okay.
really, really good.
I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Yeah.
And also spooky ooky. So
Okay.
highly
Love it.
recommend. Um, okay, well, we hope no one got eaten by the Easter Bunny on the hiatus. Um,
Yes.
but actually wait, this isn't our first episode back. Our first episode back was Easter. What am I saying?
Oh,
That's a
I.
brutal re-entry.
Yeah, that episode.
So sorry, everyone.
Yes. Yeah. I'm.
Traumatized.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah, so hopefully in the last week you didn't get eaten by the Easter Bunny,
Yeah. I
or
don't
like
think we.
sacrificed.
Right. I don't think we welcomed people back on
No,
that
we
one
didn't.
at all.
No, we didn't at all. We literally just
Let's.
said fucking bunnies, dude.
Let's just
Terrifying bunnies.
swap this intro with
Hmm.
whatever we said on that one, and then
I'm
we're
not
good.
gonna do that, but that's the sentiment, everyone.
Yep.
Imagine I swapped it.
Okay. Perfect. Love it.
It's already produced. Like we're locked in
It's
at this
over.
point.
Yes. Understood.
Oh god. Okay, so today's topic.
Yes. The peak.
Also, if you're noticing that I look freakishly tan, no, you're not.
It really does not look like it on
Okay,
my
it looks
view
fine on
at
video.
all.
Okay, great.
Yes.
That's
Mhm.
wonderful for
Yeah.
me. My legs are also tan. I mean, my dad will laugh if
Oh,
he's watching this because, like, no, they're not, but this is
they
tanner
do
than they
look
would
tan
be.
though.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
Yes.
That's excellent.
Relative to our baseline,
Yes, baseline
it's
is like
tan.
very low. So
Yes.
I
Uh-huh.
just couldn't stand looking down at my pasty little thighs.
I totally understand.
Yeah, so it's all good. I'm just using that Jergens stuff. I'm going real off script at this point. Sorry, guys. But it's like
That's
that really
nice.
thick lotion, which, like,
Yeah,
I don't really love
you
lotion
love
after
that.
the shower, but I've gotten into it living here because it's
Mhm.
so freaking dry.
Dry. Hmm.
So,
Yeah, so it's
anyway,
not so bad.
enough about my
Anyway.
weird preferences. Anyway, so Chris in the Attic part deux with a little film buff
Twist.
twist
Hmm.
for our horror junkies.
Yes.
I'm excited about this one because this is like
Hmm.
a very unexpected add-on that worked weirdly for
Yes.
both of our topics.
It did somehow. It panned
Okay,
out.
so my combo is the Conjured Chest and the Conjuring slash Conjuring universe. So I will get to
Perfect.
that. But first, the Conjured Chest. So, this is
Okay.
one of our Kristen the Attic from our little book. This is one of our topics. And I was like so locked on the idea that it's like has something to do with the Conjuring house, like the real one that it's
Hmm.
based off of. Nope,
Yeah.
could not be more
Not at
wrong.
all.
That's not it at all. So,
Whoops. Okay.
yeah. So, it's
Well.
also known as the Cursed Chest. Um, but it is a very eerie piece of furniture. So it currently belongs in some sort of museum associated with the Kentucky Historical Society. It sounds like maybe like the Kentucky Historical Society is actually the name of the museum, but anyway, that detail is like not really super important. Apparently,
Okay.
this museum houses a lot of creepy things, including the graveyard quilt, the cursed beads, a hangman's noose, and the suit that Governor Goebel was wearing when he was shot. I don't know who Governor Goebel is, but I'm assuming
Uh-uh.
someone from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Did we cover the graveyard quilt? Why does that sound so familiar to me?
I think there was a quilt in one of my
Yeah.
recent stories. It was not that though. It
Okay.
was like she had some weird quilt pattern that
Yes.
ended up being like a mirror of what happened to her, kind of.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Okay. And it was like
I don't
made
remember
from
the
the
theme
scraps of fabric. Like the fabric
of
had some,
dresses.
yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I'm remembering this as well. Okay,
Yeah.
well maybe we have to look up the graveyard quilt.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so let's cut to the actual chest itself, and I'm going to describe it for you.
Okay.
So it is made of mahogany, circa 1840. It's gorgeous. It's that kind of mahogany that's like sort of an orangey brown, and then it has really pretty like dark striations through it. Um,
Pretty.
it's gorgeous and it's like perfectly polished. Um, I'll read the actual description from the Kentucky History site. It says this empire style mahogany veneered chest of drawers has four drawers. The top drawer is curved and extends out beyond the other three. There are panels at each end of the piece at the sides of the top drawer. There is an acanthus leaf design on these panels. There's scroll work on top of columns on each side that have turned work and a ball on the top that have turned work. I don't know what that means. Oh, turned work, like wood turning. Turned work like details, and a ball on the top, as well as turned work at the bottom. The legs are turned and have casters. It's like actually truly beautiful, and you're going to be mad when you hear the full story.
Oh no.
So, this chest has 18 deaths associated with it.
Whoa.
Yes.
Crazy.
So I'm going to read an excerpt from the Kentucky
Okay.
Historical Society. So, Virginia Carey Hudson Maine donated the conjured chest to the Kentucky Historical Society in 1976. The chest haunted Maine's family for generations. The conjured chest's reputation extends outside of Kentucky, so much so that the chest traveled to Las Vegas in 2015, where it was featured in season one of the Travel Channel's Deadly Possessions. And on the show, none other than paranormal investigator Zach Bagans.
As soon as you said Vegas,
Yeah,
I was
you're
like,
like, ah,
he's
where's
around.
Zach? Here,
Yep.
there he is. Like a
Uh-huh.
fucking vulture.
Yep.
He interviewed Virginia Carey Hudson Maine's daughter, Beverly Maine Kinzel, about her mother's motivation to donate the chest to the Kentucky Historical Society. Quote, I don't think she would turn it loose. I mean, imagine putting it out on the curb knowing that someone might put items in it and then die. She felt that it needed to be preserved, but to be kept away from innocent people in a place that would make it very clear that it was not to be used. So, the chest's story is first described in a letter from Virginia Carey Hudson Cleveland, 1894 to 1954, to her daughter, Virginia Carey Hudson Maine. So this is mother to daughter, and then her daughter was the one who was interviewed. Um, Virginia Carey Hudson Maine already passed away also, so 1916 to 1989. Cleveland's grandmother, so the eldest, her grandmother Eliza told her the story as a child, and this is officially documented in the book Flapdoodle Trust and Obey by Cleveland. The names in the book were changed, but in 2017, Beverly Maine Kinzel, who's the daughter of Virginia Maine, published The Conjured Chest, A Cursed Family in Old Kentucky, in which she identifies the actual names of the victims and their relations to Cleveland. The chest was likely made in Kentucky around 1830 to 1840, possibly in Meade County, where members of the Graham family resided. So we're going to get to the beginning of the story here, like historically, but the main flag and like why I'm including all this detail is there was all of this like, oh, well, the names are wrong and these deaths don't match real historical deaths, so like this can't be right. And that was when Beverly Kinzel was like, this is fucking real, and here are the real names. They were just changed for privacy reasons, but now these people are long gone, so it was like, we're gonna tell you what happened. So,
Truth.
and here is where you're gonna be mad. Because I was. So the story begins when Jeremiah Graham was making preparations for his firstborn, which included a chest that was hand carved and made by an enslaved man named Remus. Jeremiah was not satisfied with the chest, which, first of all, why the fuck not? It's beautiful and like so professionally made. Like it looks like a professional made it. He beat Remus basically to death because Remus died from his injuries. Yeah. In order to avenge the death of Remus, the other enslaved African Americans who were owned by Graham, that's so gross to say, sprinkled dried owl blood inside the drawers and put a curse on it. The chest was moved, probably unwittingly, by Jeremiah and his family into the child's nursery. And tragedy continued every single time someone put their clothing in the chest. 16 people are believed to have had misfortune due to a curse placed on this chest of drawers. And in addition, both the chest maker Remus and the curse breaker Sally died, making a total of 18 deaths related to the chest. So I'm going to list them all out because we have a full list. So, number 1. Jeremiah Graham's child, for whom the chest was made, died in infancy. So the first person whose clothes were put into the chest. 2. Jeremiah's twin brother Jonathan had a son. This son's clothes were placed in the chest, and he was stabbed by his body servant on his 21st birthday. Jeremiah and Jonathan's sister-in-law, Amanda Winchell Graham, wife of Moses Graham, then put the chest in the attic. So the mother of the twin. The wife of the twin. Number 3, John Ryan, a recent immigrant from Ireland, eloped with Catherine Winchell. And then it says he victim number 4. It's like all so interconnected. It's so fucked. Amanda Winchell Graham, so the sister of the wife, arranged for them to live on land belonging to the Grahams and gave them the chest, which they both used. Farm life left them poor and made Catherine ill. John planned to go to New Orleans to find work and was killed in an accident. Number 4, Catherine Winchell Ryan dies. So it's like knocking out full families. Number 5, Louise Gregory, a child of Eliza Ryan and John David Gregory, died around the age of 10 years old. Eliza and John David Gregory's only son, Ernest Gregory, married Stella Stonecipher, which is the sickest name I've ever heard. Stella put her wedding clothes in the chest. The couple married in 1895. Stella died within 2 years. Number 7, Mabel Louise Whitehead, a relative of the Gregory family, came to live with Eliza and John David Gregory in 1884. Mabel married Wilbur Harlan in 1897. In 1901, Mabel and Wilbur had a baby named Chester, whose clothes went into the chest. Chester died at 2 weeks old. So it almost seems like the younger you are, the faster it affects you in some weird way. Wilbur Harlan's clothes were placed in the chest. Wilbur died in 1905. John David Gregory's nephew Emmett, this is number 9, was the son of John David's sister, Lucy B. Gregory. Lucy hid knitted gloves and a scarf in the chest for her son's Christmas gift. Emmett worked for the railroad. One evening in December 1909, Emmett got off the train and fell 30 feet through a trestle. I don't know what that is, but it doesn't sound good.
Sounds bad. Yep.
Yeah. Number 10, Nellie Gregory, daughter of Eliza and John David Gregory, married Fred Fraze in August 1905. Nellie had placed her wedding clothes in the chest. Fred deserted Nellie. When Eliza Gregory's husband, John David, died in 1908, Eliza rearranged her house and moved the chest into her room. Eliza then took her own life and died April 4, 1915. Number 12. The chest then moved to Louisville with Eliza and John David Gregory's granddaughter, Virginia Carey Hudson Cleveland, and her husband, Curtly Cleveland. Virginia put her first child's baby clothes in the chest, and the baby was born prematurely and died the same day on August 8, 1915. 13. Virginia and Curtly Cleveland had two daughters, the second being Anne Carey Cleveland. Anne's clothing was placed in the chest. Anne was struck with polio around 1929, and although she recovered, she endured related symptoms throughout her life and did die relatively early. 14, Virginia and Curtly Cleveland's older daughter was Virginia Hudson Cleveland, whose wedding clothes. What's with the wedding clothes in the
Yeah.
chest? Stop.
Yeah. See the pattern.
Yeah.
Stop.
Wedding clothes had been placed in the chest. Wilbur Brister married Virginia Hudson Cleveland in 1943. In December 1944, he was rushed to the hospital for an appendectomy and died like a day later from an overdose of ether in the
Oh,
hospital.
oh no.
Yeah.
Yikes.
15, Virginia and Curtly's neighbor, Herbert H. Sonny Moore Jr., put his hunting clothes in the chest. Moore was killed in a gun accident at the home of neighbors on April 5, 1946. 16, Richard, Virginia, and Curtly's son Richard put his clothes in the chest. Less than a week later, he was stabbed at school.
Oh, wow. At
Yeah.
school.
Yeah. So
Yikes.
Virginia had had enough. She did not want anyone else to die, and it seemed very focused around their circle, which like makes sense given it was like a hex essentially on the family that killed poor Remus.
Yeah.
Um, she asked Sally, who was a maid who had worked for Virginia most of her life, if she knew how to break a conjure or a curse. Virginia and Sally completed the necessary steps to break the curse. Sally told Virginia she needed a dead owl brought unasked by a friend. I don't know how you would
What?
manipulate someone into doing that.
Yeah.
Then she had to take the leaves of a willow tree planted by a friend and boil them for one day in sight of the owl. Next, she was to put the liquid in a jug and bury it with the handle facing east under a flowering bush. And if it worked, either Virginia or Sally would die before all of the leaves fell off the bush in the fall. And Sally died the following September.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wait, unasked? Does that mean like you can't ask for it, but they have to bring you an owl?
Yeah, a dead owl.
That's, yeah, that's not, how do you do that?
I mean, maybe
Doesn't seem
you just
feasible.
say you need it.
Like, man, I could really use an owl right now.
I could really use a dead owl right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
who
to this
knows?
day, some of the owl feathers remain in the top drawer to keep the curse at bay.
Wow.
So that is the cursed chest. So
Crazy.
before I did this research, I was like looking for the Conjuring chest, like
Mhm.
searching that
Yeah, like,
phrase. Because I was like, how is this related to the Conjuring house? Like, it's obviously not. I hadn't read everything yet. I had just read that all the
yeah,
deaths were associated. Um, and then I just stumbled upon like across
a
why what
boss.
is happening to me?
We all know
I'm
what you
coming
mean.
undone. Coming undone. I came upon some stories on Reddit associated with watching the Conjuring universe movies and having really weird experiences. And this is like not the first time we've done this as a topic, but I just thought it was interesting because you'll see the connection with Amy's topic as well. But I'm just going to read a couple quickies here. So this is from Spooks Boo. And this is titled "Watched Conjuring 2. Creepy Things Started Happening to Us Afterwards?" Question mark.
Question mark?
Yeah.
God.
I would say exclamation point on that. So they say, first time posting here. I've been a follower of this thread for a while and wanted to share a recent experience that I still can't explain and see what y'all can make of it. Short disclaimer. I'm an open-minded skeptic, and while I've had unexplained experiences that could be paranormal, I don't tend to spook easily. I believe 9 out of 10 times there's rational explanation. I haven't yet had an experience that is definitively, undeniably paranormal. So, enter the story. A couple of months ago, me and my boyfriend watched the Conjuring films for the first time, both of them. The first one I found really fucking creepy. About a week later, we watched the second. I actually really enjoyed this film and its storyline. I just genuinely liked it as a piece of filmmaking. However, beginning the night we watched that second film, a few odd, unexplained events began happening. We went to bed that night, and I was not in a fearful or anxious state of mind, having enjoyed the film, and we watched some TV for a while afterwards. As I'm drifting off, I hear a really loud noise behind my head, as though something has fallen through the slats of the headboard. Our headboard is wooden with slat panels, pretty basic. It's flush against the wall, and the noise sounded as though something heavy, like my phone, had dropped from the very top of the headboard and had bounced its way down the slats, if that makes sense. I fully can see what they're
Yeah.
saying. Where it like
I
clack, 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 clack,
totally.
clack. Yeah.
Yes.
They say clattering is the best word I can use to describe it. It startled both myself and my boyfriend, who got his phone and shone the light down the sides of the bed to see what had fallen. My phone was still charging where it had always been, and there was nothing on the floor beneath the bed. So something had fallen around, or nothing had fallen around or near the headboard. I was a little weirded out because the noise was so distinct and we had both clearly heard it. Anyway, I figure we both might have jumped awake separately and just gone back to sleep. Next thing I know, I'm sat upright in bed, sweating buckets, in parentheses, it's February, tapping my boyfriend and staring at the ceiling, repeating, "What's that up there? What is that up there?" I feel like I've been doing this in my sleep for a few seconds and become fully conscious as he mumbles something like, "What are you going on about?" And I realize what I'm doing and I lie back down, telling him, "It's nothing, I was just sleeping." I look at the time, it's 3 a.m. on the dot, and I feel really unsettled. I don't like that. That
No,
gives me
don't
like,
blame me.
ooh, little spine tingles.
Yeah.
Okay, a few days pass and I've pretty much forgotten that night, assuming I'd been having just odd dreams. Until my boyfriend asks me why I keep opening his drawers. Opposite our bed, we have a heavy pine chest of drawers. The drawers are not on rollers and have round knobs like as handles. They aren't always easy to open and they've warped a bit, so making it even harder to open them. My boyfriend says that he's noticed the third drawer down is always open when we get back from work, and now he deliberately shuts it before we leave, only to find it open or slightly ajar when we get back. This happens every few days for a couple of weeks, and we consider putting cameras in the room before it suddenly seems to stop. And we've had an odd experience with that chest of drawers before. So now you see the connection. To do with a mirror falling off of it in a very weird way and breaking off two doorknobs.
Wow.
Like,
So
how physically does that happen? Anyway,
good question.
yeah. Those drawers seem to have stopped opening by themselves until one evening we went to the shops and saw the DVD of The Conjuring 2 was on sale. We laughed about it, but I just felt really on edge and like I didn't even want to talk about or think about the film. And when we got back from the shops, one of the drawers was open again.
Mm.
Isn't
Just
that
having
weird?
come across the movie again.
Yeah, like the energy of it is
Yeah.
like, ugh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yikes.
it stopped completely after about a month, and now it never happens. During the period when the drawers would open, I found myself waking in the night, boiling hot, sweating, and feeling this sudden anxiousness some nights before bed. It just felt like there was a heaviness in the room that made me feel uncomfortable and unsafe. And as I fell asleep, I'd start visualizing a white sphere of protection around our bed. And I did this every time that I felt wary for about 2 weeks. And after a while, I no longer felt the need to do it. I don't know why I did it. It just felt like the right thing to do to feel safe. I do that too. Do you ever do that? Yeah.
Yes. I do that on planes though. Not
Oh, I've never
on
even thought to
beds.
do that before. I do that
Yeah.
when I'm falling asleep. Like when I got back and I felt kind of weirded out and I was looking at
Hmm.
the ghost photos a lot,
Yeah.
I started doing that and then I just stopped. Like I just didn't feel the need to do it
Yeah.
anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's comforting.
It is very comforting.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. They say it might be worth mentioning that we have the Key of Solomon in our living room bookcase where we watched the film. I don't know what that is. A book, but I don't, yeah, I've never really read it, and it sits there more as an homage to our love of the weirder parts of life than anything we'd consider using practically. I know in The Conjuring 2, the name of a demon is shouted and repeated at the end, and one thought I had is that it tapped into a little bit of the residual energy that might surround the book. I didn't make this connection for a while afterwards, though. I wasn't conscious of the book being there when we were watching the film. Has anyone else ever had odd experiences after watching a demonic horror film, or this film specifically? Any thoughts on what else might have been happening? That's it. Creepy.
It is really weird.
And like
Also,
a lot of people in the comments are like, oh yeah, we were I've had weird stuff happening. Like, I'll just read one really quickly. This is from Molly
Yeah.
Denali. She says, OMG, during the time my spouse and I watched The Conjuring 2, we were by ourselves up in a friend's bedroom. It was dark and we had the movie playing on a chair in the center of the room across from the bed we were on. And at some point during the film, a necklace that was hanging on our friend's lamp snapped and broke, and beads went all over the floor. The house had some really strange happenings though, so maybe it wasn't the movie, but very weird all the same.
Yeah. For a necklace to just snap
Yeah,
out of
randomly.
nowhere, yeah,
I
seems
know.
strange to me.
Really weird. But sorry, you were gonna say something. You said anyway, and
I
then
was just gonna
I cut
say
you
that
off.
the Key of Solomon is a grimoire, so
Mm.
that would make sense if they felt like maybe that was connected somehow.
Y'all,
But
don't put that shit in your house, you know? Like, just don't.
yeah, or just leave it like in a special
Yeah,
place, not just
like
sitting
in a
on your
box.
bookshelf next to
Yeah.
Akatar.
Next to Akatar. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
man.
Hmm.
Okay, and then
That's
this is my
spooky.
last little quick story. This is from Red Dead Merc, and it says dark figure, yellow eyes, which makes me think of I'm looking for a man in finance, 6'5".
Blue eyes. Yep.
Dress fun, blue eyes. I don't even know the words, but
No.
that cracked me up. Okay,
Mhm.
they say last night I was dreaming about being with friends in my bedroom. We were having a laugh in the dream until my friend Sam randomly left the room. I remember asking him, "Where are you going?" only to hear him say, "I hate being dragged out of the room." Then all of a sudden, I felt awake, and standing over me was a dark black thing, uh, a figure with piercing yellow eyes. I felt like my chest was being lifted up and my soul was being ripped out. I panicked and flipped over in my bed and crammed my head into the pillow, masking my head with the covers. Seconds later, I turned around to look for the figure, and it was at my bedroom door, semi open, which is always closed at night. And all I can remember was the figure. It never moved, but it was looking at me. So I again hid under the covers until moments later, when I peeked out, I saw it was 7:25 a.m. So I got out of bed and the door was shut. I have blackout curtains, so the room was mostly dark and indistinguishable from nighttime, it being morning. I do not know what to make of this. I'm hoping it's just a night terror or something, but it felt like I was having a panic attack at the time that I quote unquote woke up to see the entity. I got out of the house after a quick shower as soon as I could, and I've Googled dark figure, yellow eyes, only to come across a story which is almost identical to mine, though I still do not know if it was a moment in reality or a dream within a dream, which just ended so abruptly that when I got out of bed, I hadn't woken up. I promise this is 100% true. I would not dare make up such a scary thing. And here's something else to add to the mix. I've been watching the Conjuring movies in the run up to the latest film, The Nun. Could this be a night terror? It felt real, like nothing I've experienced before. Other people I've spoken to have theorized that it may have been sleep paralysis, but I'm unsure because I was fully able to move. Please, somebody help me.
Yeah, please help. That is
Isn't that
scary.
scary?
Really scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, bleh.
And The Conjuring was one of the ones in all of our episodes of like haunted movie sets and things. That
Hmm.
one has a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm not surprised.
Yeah, well, and remember we were talking about I think it was the Demon House again that Zach Bagans made the film about before he demoed it. And I think they changed it later, but there was an intro that was like, beware, like like demons or poltergeists or something can like transfer over film or like
Oh, yeah.
audio. Like, wasn't there
Hmm.
something about that? I think it was the Demon House, but it was some video like that where it was like there have been so many stories like this of like people watching a movie thinking like it's just a
Yeah.
movie, it's harmless, and then it turns out to maybe not be
Not.
so harmless.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Scary.
yeah.
I mean, Peggy the doll caused things
Yeah.
over video because it was
And Robert too.
yeah, right. The medium that had Peggy, at least I
Mhm.
remember, was like, would do sessions with her, and then people were
Mhm.
like, I had a heart attack watching your
That's
watching
not
your
funny,
live
but it's a
stream.
little funny. I
Yeah,
had a I
it's
had a
just
heart
so
attack while
extreme.
watching your live stream. Yeah, casual.
Yeah,
Yeah,
scary.
it's wild. It's
Mhm.
wild. So yeah, that is the Conjuring chest plus a chest after watching The Conjuring plus just watching The Conjuring and things being creepy.
Yeah,
Bit of a stretch,
scary.
but I liked the
No,
connection.
I like it too. You can't watch The Conjuring anymore. Okay?
There's a new one coming
I
out.
know, don't see it.
I'm gonna see it. I
No.
have to. I have to see
No.
it. I'll
You
ward
don't have
myself
to.
first
Okay,
and then
that sounds
sage
good.
myself.
All right. So today, I, and actually,
Today.
well,
Sorry.
today we'll get to this, but I'm like now trying to make the connection between
Oh yeah,
this and
yeah.
the
Okay.
movie that we're gonna talk about. We'll get there.
There's an
So,
obvious connection though, isn't there?
well, let's wait.
Okay. Okay.
We'll talk about
Sorry, I won't
it.
spoil it. I won't
No,
spoil it.
that's okay. So, my cursed object from our book is Rudolph Valentino's cursed ring. So, his real name is Rodolfo Alfonso Raffaello Pier Filiberto Guglielmi di Valentina di Antoniella. So,
Girl! Holy shit!
you may be able to guess where he's from, which
Oh
is
my god.
Italy, of course.
Italy? Yes, I got that.
Yes.
That was
Yep. How
impressive.
many?
You didn't hesitate. You were like, first name, second name, third name, fourth name, fifth name. A little bit of a stutter on the googly eye one, and then
Yep.
boom, boom. You did it. You
Yep.
killed that.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That
Well done.
was eight names.
That's a lot of
So
names.
just imagine. Okay. But everybody calls him Rudolph, which
Of all
is
those
not.
names, that's what you picked.
I know. Yeah, Rodolfo is better than
Yeah,
Rudolph, but I
agreed.
probably will call him Rudolph. So
That's fine.
sorry about that.
Sorry, guy.
Um, yep. So Rudolph, born in 1895, when he turns 18, in 1913, he arrives at Ellis Island in New York.
New York.
And for the next few years, he works odd jobs and bops around the city, and he makes a lot of connections with people in artistic communities
The
because he has an interest in theater and dance and all of this
theater.
stuff. The theater. So in 1917, he actually joins a traveling theater company, and they go all around the US, and he meets an actor named Norman Carey, who I should have looked up, but I think he's somewhat famous because he was
Okay.
in films.
I'll take
So
that.
let's
I'll
just
take that at face
accept that.
value. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So Norman convinces Rudolph that he should also try his hand in the film industry, and he does. And Rudolph stars in several silent films. I don't
Hmm.
think he has any speaking films, but
Okay.
either way,
Movies, no talkies. Got it.
yes, exactly. So a few years later, it's 1925 now. Rudolph is pretty successful. He's on vacation in San Francisco. And as he's walking around, he comes upon a shop that has a beautiful ring in the window.
Hmm.
And he is like, oh, I need that ring. And it's like a band with a single tiger's eye gemstone,
Hmm.
which is pretty.
Yeah.
And his interest in the ring is even more piqued by the fact that when he goes in, the shopkeeper is like, I don't know if I want to sell that one because it's cursed. And so
Oh.
he somehow convinces the shopkeeper to sell it to him. And as soon as he has it, Rudolph wears it every single day.
Oh, good. That's great.
Yep. Yeah.
You were warned
The
and you didn't listen.
yeah, didn't listen. So yeah, and I mean, like you can imagine with a cursed object story, kind of like the chest. This is just a series of um, unfortunate events
Yeah.
for everybody who comes into contact with it. So, kind of the first thing is a year after he buys the ring, Valentino, collapses at a hotel in Manhattan, and on his finger is the ring, of course, which he never takes off. He is admitted to the hospital. He has appendicitis and gastric ulcers. They perform
Oh.
surgery, and the doctors are actually really optimistic about the outcome. But in just a matter of days, he ends up falling into a coma and he dies a few hours later. And at the time, he's only 31 years old.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And so throughout this whole thing, the ring is still on. Like it's
Oh
still
my God.
there. So who knows? Um,
Very weird.
yes. But he had a big, like, public funeral. This says more than 100,000 people flooded Manhattan to pay
What?
their respects. I
Oh
don't
my
know
God.
how true that is, but
Big Italian family.
yes, true. That's just his cousins.
Literally.
um, but yeah, so everybody's coming. There's some drama at the funeral that's staged by Pola Negri, who is a
Mm.
Polish actress, and she seems to be overcome by her grief. At the funeral, she faints multiple times. She
Mm.
collapses in front of the coffin, and she claims that she and Rudolph were engaged, which
Oh,
everyone was like, I've never heard of that.
yeah.
But
Who are you?
for yeah, but for some reason she gets to choose a memento, like a keepsake from
Oh
Rudolph's
God.
collection, and she chooses the ring,
Of course.
which Rudolph was still wearing. So I think the
Ew.
intention
Took it
was for
off
him
his
to be buried.
body.
Yes, took it off his body, but she has it, and then surprise, surprise, she gets very sick.
What the
Um,
fuck?
yeah, she recovers from the illness that she had, but her personal life afterwards just like crumbles. Her career flops. She was trying to be an actress as well.
Yeah.
She has like no luck in love, no friends, and so she gets rid of the ring.
Oh.
It goes to Russ Columbo, who was a singer that Pola had worked with on a
Mm.
movie in the past. And he was actually known for his resemblance to Rudolph, which is just a weird coincidence.
Yeah.
Um, but Russ, once he has the ring in his possession, he is wearing it. It's 1934 at this point. He goes out to hang out with a friend. He was a photographer named Lansing Brown. And they go and check out Brown's extensive collection of antique firearms.
I was just gonna say it's gonna be guns for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
Oh,
So as they're hanging out looking at these guns, Lansing pulls out a dueling pistol,
great.
and totally out of nowhere, the pistol goes off, and a piece of the bullet ricochets off a table and then lands right above Russ's left eye. So it just like perfectly killed him, unfortunately, at the age of 26. So,
26?
yeah,
Okay, wait, and sorry, why did Pola give it to him?
she just didn't want it anymore. Like
Oh,
I don't know if she
maybe she
was.
suspected that it was
Yeah,
cursed and gave it to
yeah.
someone she didn't like.
It could be. Yeah, or she's just
Jesus.
like, I don't want this. Anybody
Yeah,
else can have it but me. So who knows?
wow.
Or her career was failing, like I said, so maybe
That's
she
true.
sold it to him or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
true.
But that one is also weird because it's not like the gun was even aimed at him. It's like it just happened to
Right.
ricochet in the perfect way
Yeah,
to kill him.
that is
Really
so
sad.
bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah. And then even more bizarre, actually, that Russ, when he died, they told his brothers, and their mother had a heart condition. And so they decided to keep up this ruse that he was alive for 10 years until the mom passed herself. So, like, they
She
would
just
write
didn't see her
letters.
son for, oh, okay.
Yes.
Well, I guess she was far
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. I don't know where, but they
I
would
mean,
write
I
letters in
guess
his
that's
handwriting and
kind.
stuff.
I don't know. That seems
Maybe.
wrong.
Yeah, it's a weird lie to keep. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the people involved in that lie was Russ's former girlfriend, Carol
Okay.
Lombard. And she would write some of the letters. And she, whether this is related to the ring or not, she died in a plane crash. So,
Jesus.
yeah, kind of strange.
Very
Um,
strange.
then the ring after that goes to Joe Casino, which is a crazy name. Sounds made up.
Yeah, it sounds like Stone Cipher. Stella Stone Cipher.
Yeah, and he was Russ Columbo's best friend.
Okay.
Um,
These names, I swear.
I know, I know. So Joe, the stories about this ring are starting to precede it. It's getting
Mm,
a reputation. So rather than wearing it, he decides to put it behind glass in a display
okay.
case. But for some reason, he's convinced later that he should try it out.
Oh
So
my
he
God.
starts wearing it, and the week after he wears it, he gets hit by a truck and dies. So, very
Okay,
odd.
I would think it would be so much easier. Like, I feel like even with the Conjuring chest, like, it's relatively easy to say, like, these are just like horrible coincidences.
Right.
But when there are so many like freak kind of things, like freak deaths, freak accidents, or
Yes.
freak medical
Mm-hmm.
conditions, like, it's like the doctors thought Rudolfo would be fine and then
Yeah.
he died. Like, it's like,
Yes.
that's weird. That's
Yeah.
really weird. And what compelled Pola to take it off of his dead body? I mean,
Right.
literally in the
Yeah.
casket. Like, that's
Yeah.
batshit.
Yes.
What compelled the sales clerk to even sell it, knowing it was cursed?
Right. Yeah. Put it on display in the window too.
Yeah.
to.
Or compelled Joe or whoever to try it on. Like, it's just like,
Mhm.
it
Yeah.
has like a gravity of its own.
Yes. Yep. And also, everyone is so young. Like
Mm-hmm.
31,
Yeah.
26. All these people are
So young.
too young to be dying.
Yeah.
But yeah, so after Joe dies being hit by a truck,
Mm-hmm.
it goes to his brother, Dell, who is like, finally some sense. He locks it in a safe.
Okay.
He doesn't wear it. But rumors spread about where he has it kept, and people are
Mm.
interested in this ring. So somebody named James Willis learned about it, and he decided he wanted to steal it. So he
Mm.
breaks in. The alarm goes off when he breaks into the chest or the
Mm-hmm.
safe. And then as he's running away, officers shoot and kill him. And the ring
Mm.
is found in his jacket pocket and returned to the safe.
What the
Yeah,
fuck?
yeah. It's bizarre. Then last thing about it is
Oh my
Edward
God.
Small, who's a movie director. He heard about this ring and about Rudolph's story. So he hires Jack Dunn, who is a professional skater who decided to try his luck in acting,
Wow.
to play Rudolph in the movie.
Mm.
And for like props and things with the filming, he decides to buy some of Rudolph's stuff.
He's like, let's make it really
Yeah.
authentic and have you wear the ring that killed him.
Yep, including the
Oh
ring.
my God.
Yes. And so the actor Jack, he wears the ring for 2 weeks. He has his screen testing and everything, and it's perfect. So to celebrate getting the role, he's hanging out with his friends. He goes on a trip. A week later, he dies of a very rare blood disease at 21 years old. So just a little
21, a
baby.
little baby boy.
Yeah, tragic.
That's horrible.
Yes.
Oh my
So
God.
poor Jack. But after that, the ring is lost. Like, I don't know
Uh,
where it is now. This article didn't say. It said that the most recent, like, knowledge of it, I guess, was September 2017. There was a portrait of Rudolph wearing the ring that was sold at auction, and it was
mm.
purchased for 165,000 euros. So pretty
Oh my
pretty
God.
expensive, but the ring itself uncertain where it is now. So,
What the fuck?
yeah. Yep. So that's Rudolph's ring.
Like, do you think it just got like chucked in the Hudson, or do you think like I don't know, like
I
first of
kind of
all,
hope so.
what is the origin of the curse? I would like to know. Like,
Um,
obviously, no one's gonna find that sales clerk. She's long gone. But
yes.
also, like, couldn't you just see this being like a Jumanji situation where it's like buried at the bottom of some trunk that's gonna end up in an estate sale that someone's
Yes.
gonna come across and this whole thing is gonna repeat itself?
Yeah,
Ugh,
could be.
hate that.
Yeah, I could see that total Jumanji situation.
Jumanji vibes.
Yeah, so who knows? But this is where I'm like, so the movie connection is the
Hmm.
ring,
Yeah.
obviously, just for what it's called. But there's no ring in the
No, it's
ring.
true. No, it's true.
So
Wait, have you seen
it's
The
just
Ring?
the
You have
title. No, but I know the
the
premise.
story. Okay.
Yeah.
Samara
And
and
I
all of
think,
that. Yeah.
yeah, we've talked about it with our other like haunted movie
Yes.
set
Yes,
episodes and
that's
stuff.
right. Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
Because, like, some
there's
scary
no
shit
ring.
happened on that set, right?
Yes, of the Ring 2, actually,
Oh.
but still. Um, so yeah, if anybody hasn't seen The Ring, I feel like there's some imagery that is
Mm-hmm.
important for the rest of
Mm-hmm.
these stories. That it's watching a cursed videotape, and there's a lot of static on TV's imagery.
Mm-hmm.
After you watch it, you get a phone call saying 7 days, and then the people that hear it die a week later. Um, and they also realize that is she like a demon or a ghost? Whoever's causing all of this to happen is a girl named Samara who was drowned in a well by her mother. So water and flooding is also an important image.
That
Um,
was a very good synopsis.
oh, thank you.
That was
Thank you.
excellent. Like, really well
Thank you
summed
so
up. I think
much.
if you had been like, summarize the ring, I'd been like, okay, so it
Well,
opens on.
because you've seen it, I'm
It's
just
true. It's
like,
true.
I know the basics
Yeah, no, that
because,
was good though. That was better than my probably really rambly version I would have given.
uh, well, thank you. I was reading these stories last night, like late night,
Uh-oh.
which is a mistake.
Always a
And
mistake.
it's so weird. I feel like The Ring is one that really scares me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because your TV is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And imagine some
Someone
demon
crawling out
crawling
of your
out of it.
TV. Yeah.
Oh my God. That I was like feeling physical pain in my
Yeah.
sides while I was reading it. I was like, what is this fear
Physically
reaction?
physically scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
No, I get that. I totally get that.
yeah, very scary. So, to start out, we have talked about this before, but it's just too good not to mention
Mm-hmm.
what happened on the set of The Ring
Yes. Oh, hell
2.
yeah. Remind me, please.
Yeah. So, according to The Ring 2's director, his name is Hideo Nakata, or at least I think it's he. I could be she. I didn't look it
Mm.
up.
You
They
know it's good
filmed,
when they're Japanese because the Japanese make these
yes,
scariest fucking horror
scary.
films
Yeah,
ever. I can't watch most of them. Like I think I've seen like
really.
one or two. But even
Mm,
like The Grudge, I think that also is originally Japanese and some of them are
yeah.
like so scary I want to barf. Like it's that
Yeah,
kind of fear that like you like are
yeah.
panicked
It's
feeling.
just, yeah, like pure fear. Yes, that
So
is so scary.
scary.
Uh, yeah. So Hideo, they experienced some real life encounters that
Wowza.
suspiciously mirrored things that happened in the movie, which just adds
Ew.
another layer of spookiness to it. Because in the movie, like I said, water is like kind of symbolizes her presence, I guess, in a way, because
Mm-hmm.
that's how she died.
Yeah.
So it
Well,
was
it's like a
very creepy.
precursor to her coming, usually.
Right.
It's like I
Is
think
the water.
water spills out of the TV and then
Yeah.
she crawls out of the TV.
Ew,
Yeah,
God.
sorry. Sorry for the imagery.
Yeah,
uh,
scary.
you'd be
Um,
stoked if I climbed through here.
I would, yes.
I
I would.
I think we'd both be very alarmed.
I'd be suspicious of who you actually were if you
Fair, very
suddenly
fair,
crawled out of my
very fair.
computer. Yeah.
Ew, ooh, okay. Blah.
Yikes. Okay. Anyway, so it was very creepy for him and the rest of the crew when the production office started flooding days after they started filming the movie. And the flooding was so bad that water was pouring out of the walls and ceiling. So they were
What the
like,
fuck?
what's happening? And obviously very spooky, like I said. So,
Yeah.
and then the other thing was specifically to one costume designer that was walking to set on the Universal Studios lot. And she was just walking in, and suddenly this deer comes sprinting around the corner right at her. She said that if she had been like 1 or 2 steps closer, the deer, she probably would have collided.
Mhm.
And there's a scene in The Ring 2, I guess, where Samara's like possessing deer in an attempt to kill two of the characters.
Yeah.
So,
Ew, that's
just
so
weird.
weird.
Yeah. And for that to be like on a lot in Hollywood
Yeah, where
is
it's like so
strange.
busy, and I feel like
Yes.
wildlife would be very not wanting to be there.
Right. Agreed.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
Yeah. It's a weird thing.
Very
So,
weird.
yeah. But then I happened to find a Reddit thread that like is identical to what you had for The Conjuring, but
Oh,
for The Ring.
oh my God.
So
Okay, hit
it's
me.
yeah, what scary
Oh,
things
I'm
happen to
nervous.
you after watching The Ring. Um, and yeah, they're fun to read. I think none of them or a lot of them ended up just being coincidences
Okay.
or like pranks, but people just
Mm,
wanted to write anyway, like I
yeah.
finished The Ring and then immediately my best friend called and said 7 days and
Oh,
I was
yeah.
so scared.
Okay.
So yeah, things like that. But it's from I Clean for Hey Chew. It's the
Oh,
person who
okay.
started the conversation. Says, I saw The Ring in theaters. At the time, I was living with my boyfriend in a decrepit apartment. In the afternoon following the viewing, I was watching TV when I started hearing a gurgling sound coming from the bathroom.
Ew!
I tried to ignore it for a while, but finally I got up, opened the door, turned on the light, and I saw dirty water cascading from the ceiling. The light bulb was
What?
encased in one of those like old light fixtures. It's just a dome,
Yeah.
and there was water just bubbling out of it. Um, a couple seconds later, the power went off. I
Oh!
said, fuck this, and promptly left the house. On the stairs, though, she met the tenant. She was coming to warn me that her washing machine had broken, hence the water.
Okay, but that's still a weird coincidence.
Yes, the timing of it is weird.
That and like dirty water. Oh, I would have gone full panic mode.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my
And
God.
I guess they kind of did because they left the house. They went to where their boyfriend worked to tell him the
Mm.
story and have a laugh. It was nighttime when they got home and it was dark, and they heard this noise even before unlocking the door. Their TV was on and it was just static. And
Are
they
you
say
fucking me?
that obviously it turned back on its own once the power had returned. But damn if we didn't shit our pants.
Okay, but again, that is
Yeah.
a really scary coincidence.
Yes. Yep. It's. Oh, and last thing. That same night, we found a message in our answering machine that was only static. We still have no explanation for that. So, that last
No.
one, yes.
I mean, that's like something out of a horror movie where it's like a couple
Yeah.
pump fakes and then you're like, wait,
This is
we
the
can't
real
explain that
thing.
one.
Yeah. Yep.
Huh?
Yikes.
I don't like that. I have full body goosebumps.
Yeah. So,
Ew.
it's scary. And there are quite a few like that where it's
Yeah.
like, I I woke up and my TV was on static, but I just rolled over the remote. or something like that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just
Okay,
people
but
trying to make themselves feel better.
yeah, I mean, it
But
sounds like that to me, honestly, because like I've rolled over on my remote a lot and it like just goes to Netflix. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like, I don't think I've
Yeah.
ever like made my TV go to static unless this is in like the early 2000s.
Yes. Which I think a lot of them
Maybe
are
were. Okay.
because this movie came out in
It's old.
2002.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's old.
So like people
Oh,
who watched it at home were probably watching it on a VHS tape.
yeah, that's a really
So
good point. And
when
that's
it
part of the
ends,
movie as well, is like you get it on VHS, the film. It's not like a
yeah,
DVD
scary.
streaming.
Right. It's not a Blu-ray disc.
No, it's not. Okay. R.I.P. Blu-ray.
Yeah.
That was
Sorry,
fun.
Blu-ray.
What a time. What
That
a
was
time
so
to be
exciting.
alive. It was
Yep.
so exciting. Except like then like I remember like when it got popular, my mom and I were like looking at our DVD, like standard DVD collection, and we were like, well, fuck. Like, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
replace all of these.
Right. Now what are we gonna do?
Yeah, what are we gonna
I
do
know.
with these? We still
Yep.
have like bins of like
DVDs.
Blu-ray
Yeah.
discs and
Yep.
DVDs, yeah. Like all my old Charmed like box set and like I have I Love Lucy, like all of
Yeah.
those shows on
Hmm.
DVD. It's such like a goofy thing, but
It's kind of fun to keep them around.
and they don't stream anywhere now. Like
Yeah.
Charmed I don't think is streaming anywhere. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, I'm a watch Charmed, but I'd have
Yeah.
to get a DVD player.
Right. Yeah. Which do they even make them anymore?
You know
It's
what?
like,
My Grammy, there's probably a Blu-ray slash DVD player at my Grammys that I could take
yeah.
because she's
I'm sure
definitely not
she'd
using it.
love to get rid of it, probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, so
Yep.
that's hilarious.
Yeah. I have
Holy
one last
shit.
story
Yes, oh, hit me,
from
sorry.
somebody. No, it's okay. It's just one. There were a lot of comments, like I
Yeah,
said. One that was kind of intriguing was
yeah.
from Yes Hunty is the
Yes,
username.
Hunty!
um, and they said, OMG, I love sharing this. So after The Ring came out, my class went to an overnight band camp at a place that was a conference center but in the woods. Question mark.
Okay.
It had a swimming pool that was filled with well water, which sounds dangerous. And
You're gonna get
it's
like a brain-eating amoeba
I
from that. What
know.
the fuck?
Yeah, because they even said it smelled kind of like sulfur, but we were all like 13, so it was fun anyway. My friend and I were swimming around in there, and all of a sudden, a clump of very long, tangled black hair floated across where we were. It scared the shit out of us, and we refused to keep swimming. LOL. Um, then
That is
after,
not LOL to
no,
me.
it's not at all. Especially if neither of them had
Long
long
black hair.
black hair.
Even just from
Um,
like a hygienic standpoint, like
right.
no.
Yes. No thanks.
Oh my god.
Yeah. The last detail they wrote was then we went back to our room, realized our room was room number 12. So
Oh.
naturally, we decided it was the same as cabin 12, and it made us even more scared.
Of course.
Yeah, I had to look that up. That where they find the videotape that's
Oh.
cursed in the
Hmm.
movie is in cabin 12.
Yes.
So just a little. I would be scared too.
Oh my god, yeah, too many
But
coincidences. Like even if they are coincidences, like it's weird. And couldn't
yes,
something paranormal be influencing that? I think yes.
yeah, agreed. And actually, now that I say that, I saw there's one more that I thought I would call out.
Yes, yes, yes.
It's from a deleted
More.
user. They said, my ex boyfriend and I went to see it in cinema. We had to drive to a neighboring town because our tiny town didn't have a cinema. We
Mhm.
watched it, it was terrifying, and now it's close to midnight when we start to head home. We had to stop by the gas station before we got on the highway, and I got out to stretch my legs. And I hear a ringing noise. I think it's probably from inside the gas station, but no, it's definitely coming from the road. My ex and I spot a payphone nearby and give each other looks, and I, being the moron that I am, started walking towards it.
No.
I'm moving at a snail's pace, my ex behind me. I assume it'll stop before I reach it, but it just keeps ringing. Finally, I'm standing right in front of it, and I just don't want to answer. Neither does my ex boyfriend, by the way. But morbid curiosity wins, and I pick up the receiver, and nothing. silence. I put the receiver down and it starts immediately ringing. I pick it
Ew!
up again, still silence. Hang up the phone, it immediately starts ringing again. And they say the damn thing is just broken. But I don't
That's really
know.
scary. Do not
Yeah,
answer fucking randomly ringing payphones,
no.
y'all. Like, just don't be dumb.
Yeah. Especially
Don't be
because it
dumb.
started ringing like they were there and then she
Yeah.
suddenly heard a ringing sound.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like it was ringing as soon as they arrived.
Right.
I
Ugh,
don't know.
I hate that. All
Yep.
right.
But anyway, that's The Ring.
Ugh. All of these are scary.
I know.
This is like
Yeah.
my worst fear, that watching scary stuff can like get transmitted to you somehow, and this is
Well,
really feeding my fear.
yeah. Hate to say it.
No,
No.
I will cleanse myself.
Yes. But
Ward and cleanse.
exactly. Last thing. So The Ring, the
Mhm.
title, is that like the ring of a telephone or why is it
I
called
think
The
it's like
Ring?
a dual meaning. It's you see a ring on the screen, but
Oh.
they realize it's not actually a ring, it's the well, like looking down into
Oh,
the well.
I see.
But
Okay.
then yeah, I think like the second it's yeah, because there's then a ring on the phone.
Phone. Yeah. Okay.
So I think it's both. But originally, like the image you see in the static is the well, and then she's climbing out of it.
Okay. Love
Very
it.
creepy. Real
Perfect.
love it. Love it. Can't
Love
wait to
it.
watch it.
Hmm.
Love it.
Yes. Oh
Holy
man.
shit. All right, y'all. Well, this is our last like standard episode before our three-part finale series. So I won't spoil the theme yet, but it's going to be spooky ooky.
Mhm.
Um, if you want to share your scary stories, you can share them with us via the form on our website, girlsgonespooky.com. Also, if you just want to like say hi, give us
Yeah.
feedback, any of that, you
Hmm.
can submit that there, contact us there. You can also email us at girlsgonespooky@gmail.com. Follow us on socials at girlsgonespooky. And if you don't listen/watch on Spotify, you can watch any of our episodes on Spotify. You also can watch them on YouTube. They're uploaded there as well.
Yes.
We love you guys.
Love you
And we want
guys.
you to stay spooky until the
Yes.
next time we see you.
Stay spooky. Bye.
Bye.